How's about that? There we go. There we go. ICS com check. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry about that. Of course, it's going to get off to a rough start. Welcome to the first match of SATAC Cold War. The 51st PVO versus Golden Crown. Okay, first things first is we have to roll the dice. Some of you have been here before and have seen this before. So, let's do the dice rolls. It's been a while since I've done this. Am I in the way of the dice? I am. Oh, you can just see it over my right wing. There we go. 3, 2, 1. And that is map number 12, which is Persian Gulf Rasliwa Winter Map 4. And I have to also do the dice roll for the teams playing on Caucasus, which is an option of 6 maps. So 6, roll, 3, 2, 1, go. And that is 5, which means that the other match is going to be 9G versus PTF. All right. Now that that's out of the way, we just have to do the coin flip. And it was heads, which means that GC is going to be picking the starting side. Let's get rid of the dice rollers here. And let's change the map. I'm in charge of controlling the server here. So, mission. And I have to load. I have all kinds of instructions. The organizers have been wonderful for me. Mission load. And then we want number 12. So / mission load 12, which is just 1 second. WTR3. Perfect. All right. How you guys going? So, I think the Golden Crown is, yeah. If you guys would be able to keep the chat in English for me, if possible, just because I'm not able to moderate in a language that I don't speak. And then we'll give you guys something to look at, okay? Awesome. I'll get myself in the server as well. And then get TACView working as well. And then we will be all ready to go for the match. How are you guys doing? Are you here to support a particular team? And it looks like the members of GC have picked red as the starting side. You're here to support Team Me. You're here for the 51st. Spectacular. Okay, let's make sure I've got all my map settings. I want the weapons. I want the ruler. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubai. You just don't know what SATAC is? SATAC is a 6v6 PvP tournament for DCS players across the world. Let's get rid of the SRS window. There we go. Keep it English in chat, please. Was wondering what happens to these squadron battles? Well, you're going to be watching one live right now, and both of these teams are very good. I know that the 51st PVO is very centered around the MiG-29, and according to their forum post, it looks like Golden Crown is going to be working in a variety of Western airframes. So we should have a good variety. Some knife edge passes through the cities. Let's hope so. Spawn in and start your planes. Report when ready. It looks like we've got some planes on the runway already. So, GC has picked the blue team, red team rather, which means that the 51st is on blue, and they are all spawning in MiG-29s. And looking pretty good. MiG-29 doesn't get enough love, I think. Meanwhile, what have we got? Oh, wow. Look at this. A full lineup of F-14As. What a fight this is going to be. The weapon restrictions are available on the forum thread. I'll show them to you. Here you can have a look at the rules. And the Phoenix gets, let's see. I'm not actually sure if the F-14 gets Phoenixes. Let me see. Aim 7 only. So, here we have Falcon, Active, Shadow, Sting, Berkut, and Grey Wolf on the lineup now. Meanwhile, over for the 51st PVO, we have Technotinium, Trout, Stinger, JP, Twist, and Frosty. In the wings of the Red Star. Ooh, they're taking R73s. I was wondering if they were going to be limited to R60Ms. Even though they're good, there is a bit of a missile advantage in favor of the Tomcats. The MiG can only carry 6. Of course, another interesting fact about the MiG is this large centerline fuel tank that fits in between the engines here. Which, you can't use the air brakes until you jettison, but it's a big fuel tank that you can burn through it really quickly. I have no doubt that the 51st is going to want to jettison these as soon as they can. Wait, these are R60s, aren't they? These aren't R73s, sorry. Yes, these are R60s. They have the, what's the name of the way that these are cooled? It's called, oh, it's just on the tip of my tongue. They don't use a coolant liquid, they have, oh man, that's going to bother me now. I remember I've lost this word in my head as well. The aphid, yeah. What's the name of the way that the R60s are cooled? So a full pack of Sparrows for the F-14s. Nitrogen cooled? Okay. My brain is just going down a rabbit hole here. When I should just be looking at planes, let's have a look at the missiles, make sure that they are armed, and it looks like they are. Yeah, what was the cooling called on the non-MR60? That's the word that I'm trying to think of. No one taxiing just yet. But it sounds like all the engines are getting moving. These, of course, being the regular R-27s, not ERs, and interestingly enough, they have elected not to bring any electro-optical missiles. I would have expected some of them to have had brought ETs, or rather Ts. Oh, here we go. One of them's brought the infrared homing. Of course, the MiG-29 serviced by a electro-optical sight, which follows the pilot's head around. So how many of what? Okay, so one player is bringing double T's, and one is bringing an R and T mix. But everyone else has got R27E. I'm going to say the E every time. R27s. Another SATAC, yes, Cold War. Welcome in. Is this weird? I've done this so many times, but I'm so nervous today. Is everything going okay? You guys having fun? Is this looking good? Am I blowing this? I'm so nervous. I don't know why. Thank you. He's throwing. A full team of Fulcrums versus a full team of F-14As. We're getting started now. Cameras at the ready. Iranian camo is a hell of a lot cooler than a grey Tomcat. Ooh, I know some people who would argue with you about that. So that looks like it's the 51st just about ready to go. Which means that GC will be the next. There are 6 on each team. These are 9Ls, aren't they? Not sure if it's supposed to have 9Ls. Or it actually is the 9L the limit. Then what are these? 9L? Why are they different colours? Do those F-14s have Rios? I'm not sure. I believe they should. The restrictions on the AIM-9s, the F-14s can take. But it looks like they're starting to taxi now. Yes, you can still duo. If you want to have a Rio, then you're more than welcome to. AIM-9L. I've flipped myself out here because it says Grey Wolf has 9Ls. Well, at least the side of the missile says 9L. But they're a different colour. Some are bringing AIM-9. Double Delta is L. Okay. Just goes to show, you learn something new. The history of the AIM-9 is an interesting one. Of course, they do have AWACS support in this. In the form of the A50s, so no data link. The history of the 9L in SATAC? Oh yes, the infamous F-15 that brought 9Ls by mistake. And then got 2 kills with them, meaning that the 9L was technically the highest performing missile in SATAC, as it had a 100% hit rate. Hopefully they get up in the air soon. The sun is going to be going down soon, which will make for an incredible backdrop, but I think that the MiG-29s are going to want to get off the ground sooner rather than later so that they can take better advantage of their helmet-mounted sights. Sounds like their engine's off just while GC starts getting ready. Any more taxiers for GC? Yeah, checklist. The hit rate on the Phoenixes in the last SATAC was abysmal. Some very... And the thing is that looking with the benefit of TAC view like we do, we can see that there were plenty of opportunities for them to have a powerful effect. The Sea Vipers, what a great team. All of the snake-themed teams. Checklist STT, of course, being a legendary Rio in the F-14. When does this start? Once everyone from GC has taxied over to where they need to be, then it's go time. Why does the preparation take so long? It's the first match of the competition. Plenty of teething issues, plenty of getting used to things. Just gives us more time to chat. The unique scream of the F-14's engines. You're sad you'll be... Oh, you won't see BFG's first match? Oh, well. What happened to the guy who used to do the squadrons competition? Not familiar, I'm afraid. I'll be joined by some friends to host SATAC matches. Tomorrow's matches will be hosted by Mika VT and Ace Windhover. So unfortunately for you guys, SATAC has become a very VTuber-dominated competition, because Technitinium asked me if I knew anyone, and I only know VTubers, so you guys are going to have to handle that. It'll be good fun. Alright, we've got the last of the GCs taxiing along now. And yes, I know you too, Spaceman, in fact. I need to get you sorted out. Alright, let's get a poll up. I want to know who you're here to support. We'll give you guys 10 minutes to vote on that one. Actually 5, that'll do. Yes, Golden Crown are the Tomcats. Whoever sells the Russians the fuel. I know. Smoky boys. See plenty of black smoke coming from these engines. No F4s and MiGs, though I do think that they would be viable. I think I could do some work in a MiG-21 here. GC gonna win? Well, get your votes in. Of course, these are MiG-29As, so no ECM. MiG-21 is very viable, yeah. I do want people to bring Phantoms, because I think Phantoms can work. It would just take quite a bit of coordination. What's interesting is that we're not seeing any F-16s. I'm so impatient. I'm so impatient. I'm so nervous. I don't even know why. Okay, both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. All right, and now it's time to start with the first round of SATAC Cold War. I'm sure that there is some plan there. But we see the 29s start taking off. Not afterburning, actually. That's interesting. It looks like the 51st PVO are the favourites for the first round. It's going to be a little bit darker, this fight. As the last of the F-14 starts taking off. Got to be careful, of course, for weight turbulence. Of course, if this was me and I was flying in some kind of match like this, I would definitely accidentally lock up my flaps. It's going to start getting dark here soon, actually. Let me know if you need me to turn up the gamma on the stream. Excellent. And the F-14s look like they're forming a stable column here. Climbing up high. And here we have the TAC view of the entire scenario. Leading the way, we have Grey Wolf, Berkut, Sting, Shadow, Falcon, and Active. Meanwhile, they're so close together you can barely see them from one another. The boys, Trout, Technitinium, Stinger, JP, and then over here we have Frosty and Twist. If you live in Dubai, now would be a good time to close your windows with all the smoke coming in. The blue team of the 51st PVO are the first ones to occupy the circle. But no doubt the Reds will get to here in time to contest the circle. A single column, equidistantly spaced. This reminds me of the bomber streams of World War II. Frost and Twist in close formation as well. They were tightly packed like that. What was it like running into them? 3 out of 4 and lost to Tomcat. If only you were flying. I'm sure GC could use that skill. Such an iconic shape. It's the battle of the iconic shapes. It's almost bittersweet that we'll be seeing these planes inevitably hitting the ground. Intimidating at first. Well, it's an interesting point you make because it is intimidating, yes, but you have to follow up that aggression with you have to follow it through to its conclusion. In SATAC, from personal experience, and look, you can see those fuel tanks starting to drop away now. In SATAC, the team that is more aggressive almost always comes out ahead. And once that fuel tank is gone, of course, the aerodynamic shape of the MiG-29 becomes even more aerodynamica. And it can make full use of its air brake as well. Current separation between the teams is 62 nautical miles, so the F-14s no doubt have them on radar. Though the MiG-29s are probably just getting their first glimpses of them now. Of course, the 14s with jettisonable fuel tanks as well. So they'll be looking to get rid of these pods so that their flight dynamics can become more dynamicer as well. There's something about the way that the Sparrows are, like, a little bit into the hull. That's just so cool. The F4 Phantom does it as well. But they have these specialized little spaces for them. And instantly rated by 2 people at the same time, Miss Raptor and Scab. Thank you very much for both rating at the same time. Let's do Miss Raptor first, because that's the first one that showed up. Support the people who support me. And shout out to Miss Raptor. And once that one... Oh. What am I... Ah, thank you very much. And if one of you guys could guess Scab after that, much appreciated. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the support. 35 nautical miles of separation. We're seeing the members of GC beginning to spread out into a battle line at 30,000 feet, except Grey Wolf is at 25. Meanwhile, the 3 in the east are at 32,000 feet and staying there. Meanwhile, the MiG-29s of the first group are at 45,000 feet exactly, and Frosty and Twist are at 40,000 feet. The first of the AIM-7s gets launched. Did it loft? It looks like this is a straight shot. Making sure the 51st know that this is not peaceful sky. The first AIM-7 in the sky. 2 AIM-7s actually, with a distance of 18 nautical miles to cover, 1 heading for the northern group, 1 heading for the southern group. In fact, it looks like it might be going for JP, who is breaking off, listening to the radar warning receiver. Grey Wolf is 15 nautical miles away from the 51st, but is more than 20,000 feet beneath them, starting to pump out a little bit of chaff here. It's going to be able to see the planes up above them. The first R-27 from JP heads out towards Burkut and Sting. And another R-27's coming off the rails at a rate of knots now, with a lot of speed behind them. Big downwards shots. Grey Wolf having to defend here. An AIM-9 coming off the rails. This AIM-7 may be heading towards Technitinium. Actually, it has no track. Burkut and Sting and Grey Wolf all with their own R-27s to contend with. And kaboom! 1 goes down. And what about Burkut? Burkut has to contend with 2 missiles. It just passes beneath him by centimeters. Missiles traveling through the sky. The first one goes down. Stinger takes down... Stinger takes down Sting. I was confused. I thought I got the names wrong, but no. Stinger takes down Sting. Stinger has an AIM-9 of their own to deal with here. It is tracking. Impact. Stinger goes down. Sting goes down. Stinger gets taken down by Sting's teammate. I don't know what's happening. Kaboom! Alright, very close to each other now. Technitinium now within visual range of one of the 14s, fires an R-27. It was Burkut that took down Stinger. This missile heading towards Burkut. Burkut going to have to defend. Has it got the speed? It catches up with him and Burkut goes down. Trout now with many missiles. It looks like it's a full circle. Twist has got lots of AIM-7s to handle here though. You can see the missiles coming in just behind him. It looks like he's managing to outmaneuver them. Plenty of AIM-7s in the sky now. Trout is just dodging everything that they can. Meanwhile, JP gets in close, launches an R-60 off the wings. And it has the angle and takes down another one of the 14s. Twist has active right behind him, but Technitinium fires, but is it at the friend? No, it's for the pursuer who takes R-60, but active is not dead. That missile didn't finish him. Took damage, but he's not dead. Meanwhile, Shadow is in a merge with JP and Trout. MiG-29s, 2 of them, both behind him. Still got the fuel tanks on. Shadow is going to have to contend with this. It's not looking good. Have they got the missiles to pursue him? Meanwhile, Falcon has to contend with an R-60 coming up at him. It impacts, but the R-60, infamously small warhead, and JP manages to finally take down Shadow. Active takes another missile. These R-60 warheads are atrocious. He's not dead yet. Technitinium is chasing him down now. Has 1 R-60 left. Goes for the guns. Hits the guns. Down goes another 14. And Falcon is the last representative with Twist right behind him and has taken damage from an R60. Another missile coming in. No countermeasures. Impact. And there goes the last of the 14s. Meanwhile, still in the air, Twist, Trout, Technitinium, and JP. Falcon is gone. Blue takes control of the battle area, but they only secure the win if they make it back home. With 91 nautical miles and the fuel consumption of the MiG-29 being a well-known contentious issue. So hopefully they have the legs to make it back home. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the TAC view. Okay. So here's how the flight played out. The first AIM-7 launches happening at quite long range, actually. Just under 30 nautical miles here. One of them was going for JP, one of them was going for this group up here. However, the MiG-29s maintaining their positions up quite high, staying up at 37,000 feet, except for JP, which has to defend this missile all the way down to the deck. The first missile fired in response. Let's see who that came from. So, Stinger fires here against Sting at 15 nautical miles. Quite a close shot. And Sting is just kind of flying towards it. Not enthusiastically countermeasuring, which is interesting because I would have thought that there would have been radar warning receiver returns. They're pumping out chaff aplenty, but just not quite enough to get away from that one. The R-27's very speedy missiles, but have a look at this, where Burkut gets very lucky here. Manages to just outfox this missile by centimeters. Looks like it lost its lock right at the last moment. Alright, Silent Kookaburra, thank you very much. AIM-7's crisscrossing along the sky. The F-14's actually at this point in the fight, having lost the altitude advantage, is kind of stuck in the mix a little bit here. The R-27s can be beaten. Trout down here having to contend with so many AIM-7s. But look at that. Just runs out of juice right when it would have got to where it needed to be. I wonder if that was a broken lock or if it was something else. And then we get into this curious situation where we have Shadow here, who is locked onto Trout, but is just seems to lose him here just for a moment, and ends up with JP and Trout. It looks like it's a situational awareness fault, but JP and Trout both chasing down Shadow. The R60 does connect, but The R60 has a minuscule warhead, really, really tiny, and very, very famously doesn't kill reliably. Here we have Technitinium with the guns kill on active. Rips off that wing and takes care of him. Falcon here, actually the victim of several missile hits. But where was the first hit against Falcon? They come in with so close to each other, in fact, passing within 5,000 feet of Twist and Falcon. I have no doubt Jester was probably screaming something at this point. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. It looks like leaning on the controls for a second. May have had been a slight control issue. But Twist is right here. And the angle of attack that you can get out of the MiG-29 is just insane. Is there another round? This is a best of 3. So there is at least one more round, maybe 2. The R60Ms may be old, but they do turn. They just don't do that much damage. Only in the final stages, Ace. In this second R60, more than an F-14 and can take. And Falcon meets their inevitable end. But of course, the round's only won when they make it back home. Looks like Twist is coming in first, just by themselves. We'll have to ask and see what their fuel states are by the time they land. Hopefully they've got the lights on at Liwa. Yes, they do. This is home plate. Would be cool to get a cockpit view mod someday. Yeah, the best I can do is yes, according to... Oh, you see, this is a problem. His fuel gauge reads 0. Also, one of his engines isn't on, and the other one is overheating badly. Then again, not producing any exhaust gas at all. And he's currently heading directly north. His compass isn't working. And he's not wearing gloves. It's probably cold. Oh, I see, Bear. Yes, I understand. That would be cool, actually. And there you see it. The air brake coming out. Can't move unless it's got the fuel tank out of the way. Yeah, I know what you mean, Hex, but I don't make the rules, so you'll have to ask the organisers that one. Twist coming in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm terrible at landing the MiG-29. I always bounce. This thing just wants to stay in the air. This is... Ooh. Fuck. Pardon me. Are we going to see a parachute deployment? That's the real question. No parachute. But that does secure the first round for the 51st PVO. Kadam. Coming in next, we have Technotinium, Trout, and JP all in formation. Not in formation, actually. Looks like they're doing a two-ship landing. What aircraft are allowed? I will show you guys the rules. Where is it? Where's the rules? Here's the rules. Here you go. You can check the rules. Nope. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, what's happening here? Alright. That is what my MiG-29 landings look like. Thank you very much, Trout, for demonstrating for the audience. And for those of you who work in aviation maintenance, you'll be looking at this landing gear and your heart will hurt. And JP, the last one to come in. I knew it. I knew the aviation maintenance technicians would come out of the woodworks. They can't resist it. And that is the last of the 51st PVO down and safe. All right. Okay, so that is round 1 out of the way. We're going to get ready for round 2. Now's the perfect time to go and get yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, and get ready for the next round as we prepare for round 2. Okay. And yes, perfect. All right, guys, I'll be right back and we'll get ready for the next round. And welcome back, everyone, as we prepare for the next round. All right. Thank you for all of the follows, by the way, guys. For those of you not familiar with my content, cool, geez, Freudian slips left and right. I am Airshow, the aviation VTuber. The funny flanker, if you are wondering. And I host SATAC and stream a lot of DCS content and aviation and flight simulation related media as well. Who's running the server in a competition? The servers are being provided by YouTuber Makes You Feel Dirty, DCS. Being provided by AlphaGator. And of course, we have to say thank you to Special K and his DCS server bot for capturing statistics for the matches and managing the servers. Special K is the person that you should say thank you to. They make a lot of all of this possible. VTuber Makes You Feel Dirty. I can make you feel even dirtier if you like. How much money you got? It's like the F-14s are starting their taxi. Did you know that when you start the MiG-29, you're supposed to wait 2 minutes for the inertial dampeners to prime? Who made the trailer? That was Adrian Capazzo. You may have seen their videos like Eli 2-1. Your average crayon enjoyer. Oh no, it's a Marine. Could just sit here and watch this all day, really. Of course, when the F-14 has its throttle all the way back, the spoilers deploy as well. So we see the F-14 spread their wings, though. Why is this guy's outboard spoilers on? Oh, he's got his flaps out. do like this livery. Quite a fearsome looking machine. And in fact, we've got a couple of liveries here. We have the wolf tail, and then we have the camo tail. I mean, I've got a soft spot for camouflage jets. Or camouflage jets. I know that this Navy livery is a really big favourite for a lot of people. It never really excited me too much, but it does look good. I think they look even kind of more fearsome when they look all camoed up. It's a furry. Wouldn't be the first. At range, it looks like a little black dot either way. Very true. Okay. Meanwhile, these MiG-29s are so thirsty that they're actually electing to wait to turn their engines on. Your favourite has to be the Jolly Rogers livery? Hmm. Of course, the 51st PVO taking the controversial choice to bring 4 passenger airliners on this particular mission. The passenger airliner, not always the first choice for some teams. It's so the books have something to do. Very true. Come on, 51st, get those engines turning. Looks like Trout has finally made it back from the bathroom after falling all the way in. And we'll be spawning in. Of course, these MiG-29s quick to start, so no dramas. Well, yes, there are plenty of Boeing aircraft that have the ability to jettison unnecessary parts like doors and engines to protect against hostile enemy air attack. I want to watch this because I know the 51st and I know that they're going to all start their engines at the same time. Let's do a poll for the match to come. And all 6 MiGs start at the same time, 12 engines roaring to life. Okay. The MiG-29 is going to start their taxi now. It'll be interesting to see how the MiG-29s shape up against aircraft like F-16s. Of course, it's important to remember, for all of you who are new to SATAC, that SATAC is an apolitical organisation without any specific affiliations to any ideologies or government. And I think this is a fine example of the capacity of aviation and flight simulation to bring people from all walks of life together, to do something together that they all enjoy and to share something that they're passionate about. Oh, they're not going to use the full runway. I guess they won't need to. Could probably take off from this parking area, to be honest. Another interesting feature, of course, the fold-down landing lights that you get on this aircraft inside the gear well, which I guess is as good a place to put them as any. Which aircraft is it that has the landing lights that are kind of on the wingtips like this, and they poke out? Is it the Su-25? Of course, up there in the sky, you can see the AWACS. Meanwhile, Grey Wolf, Berkut, Sting, Shadow, Falcon, and Active are all lined up and ready. Both teams ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. I have no doubt that this year someone will say, why does he do the countdown so out of order or so out of sync? It really doesn't matter. The difference of a few seconds in when the teams start does not change anything. Oh, of course the MiG-21 has them as well. And the wheels come up. And the last pair of MiG-29 start taxiing as well. Not afterburning on takeoff. They don't even need afterburner. They need half the runway and they don't even need afterburners. And that, I do exactly the same thing every time I take off in the MiG-29, which is I bounce. And a popped tyre for good measure. Always good to pop your tyres on takeoff. Because what else would the ground crew get to do if the tyres weren't popped? That is all of the jets up in the air at the moment. Looks like we're having the same formations as last time. Active the last F-14 in the sky. Careful, careful with that landing gear, don't jam it. Uh-oh. Has Active jammed their gear here? The nerves of battle can cause people to make mistakes that they don't expect. Okay. Gear's coming up now. Lucky it didn't get jammed. The F-14 starting to afterburn. And looking good while doing it. That afterburn animation of the F-14 was a bit silly. What, you mean the engines? Yeah, but I guess you're not really supposed to look directly at them. From the sides, I think it looks great. Unless it's a bit dark outside or you've got a dark background, it's not always completely obvious that aircraft are afterburning, but you will definitely hear it. Now this is interesting. It looks like the members of the 51st are not climbing too aggressively. You put the angles? Oh yeah. I don't know, I'm looking for a way to pass blame away from myself. Oh, who won the poll? Man, it didn't tell me who won the poll. Oh, the 51st were the favourites for this one. Well, it was a strong showing in the first round, so... Whoa, what happened there? Okay, and the lower group. Just having a look at the weapons that everyone's bringing. Same loadouts for the F-14s as last time. And it looks like the 29s are doing the same thing, where it's almost entirely R-27Rs, but the fourth man is carrying two R-27Es. Current separation between the teams is 100 nautical miles. And it looks like some of the members of GC are electing to head to the east, with Sting, Burkut and Grey Wolf at 30,000 feet heading in, and Shadow leading the way for the central group heading along the coastline. I have no doubt they'll attempt those long-range AIM-7 shots again. And there go the external fuel tanks. Dumped away. These planes are as agile as they're going to get now. Travelling very speedily. The MiG-29s making their way up to 28,000 feet. Still got their fuel tanks on, because I have not been afterburning too much. All right. So, not too fast, but the sheer nature of the MiG-29s means that they are going to make their way down here. 77 nautical miles of separation. A straight line of members of the 51st PVO are striking up towards them. The low group starting to afterburn. Looks like they've elected to go and meet them up at high altitude. 35,000 feet now. Meanwhile, the F-14s are all sitting around 28 to 31,000 feet. So not going as high as they can go, but getting there. Cloud cover not too extreme, light not likely going to be a factor unless this drags on for a really long time. Really, the light conditions only have so much to do with the landings. And listen to that just one more time. That is a close formation. Supersonic as well. So they're sorting out to meet them. The first of the AIM-7s is launched by Grey Wolf. Gets one off the rails right at the start. This missile not lofting, but definitely going just to discourage the members of the 51st from sticking too close with each other. They begin their break. This AIM-7 with a long way to go. Firing AIM-7s at 40 nautical miles is pretty extreme, but if you're confident, traveling at 850 knots, these missiles are slowing down, but they are being fired at quite long range. 1,460 knots for this one here, but as soon as I get down into that thicker air, I definitely start moving around a little bit. Looks like Trout has picked up on the radar warning receiver that they're the recipient of at least one of these AIM-7s, so he's electing to ditch a little bit of altitude just for the defensive. The formation's maintaining at the moment. No missiles launched by the members of the 51st just yet, but I have no doubt that there will be some very shortly. Or maybe electing to hold on to them for just a bit longer. 43,000 feet. No launches from the red team just yet. Plenty of AIM-7s in the sky. And Tech fires the first of the R-27s. Looks like they're heading towards Grey Wolf, who's at 7,000 feet. Meanwhile, Twist fires one towards Active and Falcon. Looks like they've turned ice cold against some of these launches. I wouldn't be surprised if they've totally lost data link. Or at least guidance. These are all Fox 1s, of course. R-27s coming off the wings. This AIM-7, if it was tracking someone, it would have some good energy. Plenty of AIM-7s in the sky, but no impacts just yet. Tech just misses an AIM-9. You heard it just whistle past. And Stinger's going to have to contend with one too. Doesn't even know it's there, but it's got no speed. Meanwhile, Falcon and F-14 killed Twist with an AIM-7. The members of the Iranian team sticking together. Frosty manages to take out one of the F-14s, gets impacted. Oh. This AIM-9, where is it going? Sting, having to defend, gets taken out. This is all happening very quickly. R-65 from Technitinium towards this F-14, manages to take it out. Now it is a 2v4. Falcon and Active, the last members of GC, still up in the sky, but they are sticking with each other, which is important. Pulling the 29 around into his nose. Have they got any AIM-7s left? One AIM-7 left. Can just see the 29 ahead of him, fires an AIM-9L. This AIM-9 is going to have potential. Two AIM-9Ls going out towards Trout, who's going to have to defend against it. Launching countermeasures. Looks like this one's gone bad. What about the other? The other one's run out of steam. Technitinium, JP, and Stinger all looking for this fight that's happening down here. Trout is completely defensive. Still has R60Ms on the wingtips. And he's evading the two F-14s hunting him down. These F-14s going to have to avoid getting target fixated, though, as JP and Stinger turn in towards Falcon. One of them's going to launch. Right above them is the F-14 they're looking for. They have merged. They are dead close with each other now. Stinger is sticking around to take care of Active behind Trout, while JP tries to pull in behind Falcon. Doesn't quite have the angle on him just yet. This AIM-9 heading towards Trout, who's going to have to defeat it kinetically, and does manage to. JP following on. Launches an an R60. And it impacts, but does not take out Falcon with one hit. Falcon fires off an AIM-7. His engines are dead. This AIM-7 may have the energy, but does it have the track? That radar may well be destroyed with the lack of electrical power coming from the engines. Trout and Stinger right next to each other, with their last opponent right ahead of them. An R60 comes off the wings, another R60. Active going to have to defend against these, gets impacted by both, and the pilot gets killed. And Red takes control of the battle area, leaving JP, Technitinium, Trout, and Stinger, the last one standing. Now let's have a look at the action that we missed. So, these AIM-7 launches are at very long range. Like 40 nautical mile AIM-7 launches is just potentially a little bit too extreme. Because look at these just have no speed, they're not lofting, so they aren't, they don't have the range. And the first R-27 shots are taken much, much closer, so as a result, just force the enemy to get a little bit more dynamic. Of course, it was Twist that went down first. What got Twist here? think it's a desynchronization here where Twist actually got impacted by these AIM-7s that were launched from Falcon. Ended up a burning wreck. Twist broke his wings. Oh, of course. That explains it. So it was Twist's burning wreckage, or rather, Twist's wingless plane. Didn't seem like too much of an extreme maneuver, but did pull some hard G's right at the last second there. Very lucky to dodge that R-27 as well. Though I don't know who was guiding that. So Burkut turned into Stinger, and Stinger was traveling much faster than Burkut. Burkut fires an AIM-9L at Tech. I think Tech got lucky with this one. The countermeasure's pouring out for Burkut, but they're not going to do much against R-27Rs. Yeah, unlucky that this missile didn't have the energy. It was still traveling at Mach 1, and it looks like it just wobbled. In fact, yeah, oh, wow. So the missile briefly tracked Technotinium's missile instead of his plane and got confused. The R-60's firing actually worked as a kind of pseudo countermeasure. So Technotinium firing this R-60 actually bled enough speed from the AIM-9L to avoid getting hit. Just goes to show. There's a lot happening that you don't see. Falcon and Active, I think, getting a little bit target fixated on Trout here. All Trout has to do is just fly away. GC and Active are not going to be able to catch them. And I think Falcon made the right decision to turn away here, knowing that JP and Stinger were coming for him. Though, potentially not seeing them under his nose, realizing that he's merged with JP now. Both of them at around about the same speed, 0.8 versus 0.9, with JP with the altitude advantage, and you're just not quite going to be able to get away from that nose. Falcon turns around to try and save Active, but it's not to be. The real question is that how did Active manage to overshoot Trout here? Trout pumping out countermeasures, the AIM-9L goes for it. I think Active was so certain that this would be a kill that didn't commit to the pursuit. And Active turns around, very suddenly has 3 R-60s in the air, pumps out the countermeasures pretty late, and then ends up one for the history books. Hey, what about Bob? How are you going? Unfortunately, you're just catching us right at the end here, as this round of SATAC is drawing to a close, with the second victory of the members of the 51st PVO against the members of GC. Give a shout out to What About Bob 71. I hope you're having a good day. I hope if you were flying that you flew well. And if you were doing something else, then I hope that went even better. The Big 29's returning home. This is SATAC Cold War. So, a battle of Cold War jets. Today was MiG-29s facing off against F-14As. The MiG-29's coming out on top in this particular instance over the skies of Dubai. I think that the members of GC also had to contend with a little bit of latency as well with where the server is based, so I wouldn't be surprised if they experienced some latency related issues. But they are good pilots, so like all pilots participating in SATAC. Well, welcome in everyone. Thank you for the follows, thank you for the support that you've given me. F-14A versus MiG-29 is a tough matchup, yeah. Of course, the match isn't won, and if I know the MiG-29 like I know the MiG-29, I wouldn't put it past this plane to explode randomly and there'll be a third round. Are you guys friends with the members of GC, or do you know these guys? Or are you fans of the 51st? Who are you guys? Where are you from? How'd you find me? I'm just a silly little airplane. Could say friends. Oh no. Biggest 51st fan here. Can't be. Oh, I don't know. There are some big fans of the 51st PVO. It was a SATAC match, a match of SATAC Cold War. The 29s look squared away. They're a very disciplined team. Oh, fantastic, Alpha Gator. Thank you very much for stepping in. I'm so sorry that I didn't realize of the timings of the matches. I thought I had everything covered, and it turns out that I hadn't scheduled things correctly. But I'm sure you hosted beautifully. Thank you very much for Alpha Gator. In fact, I'm going to give a shout out to Alpha Gator, who helps out so much with DCS and SATAC as a whole. And of course, Special K and his DCS server bot, part of what makes all of this possible. Blaze Raz Grizz. It's a SATAC match, and it's just finishing now. Okay, so that secures round 2 for the 51st PVO, making them the victors of this round. Don't worry, guys, I'll be streaming plenty of SATAC with all of the matches that come in. It looks like Technitinium's landing in the opposite direction. Alright, and I'll just join the Discord in case anyone wants to chat with me. Not always do people want to come and have a talk with me. I'm not very cool. But, you know, I've got to at least try. And we hear the MiG-29s shutting down. Was it JP that had the pop tire, or was it Trout?
Hello.
Hello, Trout Bum, Stinger and Spade. Welcome in, the victors of this round of SATAC Cold War, 51st PVO versus GC. How are you guys feeling?
Feeling good. First match. Win.
Let me just turn you guys up a little bit.
How did it look?
Well, the formation flying looked spectacular. How did it feel, more importantly? How are you guys feeling after this particular this victory? And usually you guys fly Su-27s. What was it like transitioning over to the MiG-29?
Oh, you saw the landing.
Yeah. Round 1 was something else. That was Wake. We're not going to talk about it. But no, it's good. The MiG is good. It's different, but it's
like
good.
A woman.
Well, what would you say is different about it?
Well, we had to focus on fuel management a lot more than with a flanker. And I would say comparing to flanker, it feels a bit twitchy at low speeds. And yeah, hence the landings and takeoffs are not as smooth as we usually do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, collapsed landing gear and pop tires, I think, are part of the standard outfit of any MiG-29 pilot. I don't know how people are supposed to land that plane because it's unlandable. But yeah, and were you familiar with what GC were planning on bringing? Did you know you were going to be up against F-14As, or was it a surprise?
I think we're just assuming that every team is only going to fly the F-14 because it's got 8 missiles and a lot more fuel, so...
And what, realizing that you were going to be going up against AIM-7s and AIM-9s, what was the focus? Were you confident that the R-27R could outrange them, or were you expecting to be on the defensive, at least within the initial engagement?
No, I think we're fine with as far as range go. What do you think, Trout?
The speed of the MiG kind of makes up for that. You go up to, as you saw in the first round, we were like 13,000 meters, and we were going Mach 1.5, 1.6, even faster. I don't even remember. So the speed absolutely makes up for it. You just have to be smart with your energy management and defense on the first pass.
Yeah. Also with you know, like in the 80s, it's more in thrust with trust type of approach where speed matters and a lot. And when it comes to AIM-7s or 27Rs with the Spart energy management, you can outrun the missile almost. So the first pass, it's not a big issue. I think it's more about amount of fuel, amount of missiles we have. That's the biggest concern.
Absolutely. And the R-60M can be an occasionally underwhelming missile, especially in terms of blast effect. What was the attitude about the R-60Ms? Were you looking forward to using them, or was it like, oh, I can't believe we're stuck with these?
I prefer 73s. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I think everyone does, yes. So there were plenty of R-60 hits that didn't quite kill F-14s in this match, so it'll be interesting to see if we get into a situation where we have damaged planes with no missiles left fighting each other. Yeah.
You guys took like three R-60s to like kill one guy, right?
Yeah,
So
that
it's
last
at some point,
Tomcat
yeah.
in the second round, that was 3. I
Yep.
hit him with 2, and then Stinger finished him with the third one. So
Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have any members of GC coming and joining us at the moment, so congratulations to the 51st PVO. How are you guys feeling? Anything you want to say? Anyone you want to shout out, or anything you want to do just before we close for this match of the day?
Well,
shout out to Spade for GCIing. That was
Thank you.
worked out well.
He's the real hero today.
It is my first time doing GCI guys.
Nice. And were there any gaps in situational awareness, or did you feel quite confident
Oh,
with
yeah.
with
There was-
what was going on?
There was instances where people were just tumbleweed, so it was
Lots
kinda
of
hectic.
work.
it's
I-
hectic, but it's fun.
It's fun. It's actually I really like this era. It's a lot more than simply launch and wait for a minute until missile gets there. It's yeah.
And you guys are all going to fly MiG-21s in the next match, right?
Don't think so.
Oh,
21.
not even if I ask politely?
I was thinking if we're winning by like a large margin in the first round, I might pull up in the 21, but
Same.
didn't do it.
Yeah,
Didn't
count
do it
me in,
this-
count me in.
All right, no worries. Well, I'll let you guys continue your weekend. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thanks,
Yep,
you too.
Yeah. Thanks, Asho. See you later.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, guys, that closes up the first round of SATAC Cold War. Now, tomorrow there'll be more matches being hosted by Ace Windhover and by Mika VT. If you want to keep in the loop with SATAC matches that are going on, you can join in on my Discord, and you can follow me on Twitter so that you can get access to all of your airshow content when I'm offline. I do my normal streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, usually playing DCS or some other flight simulation game, and you guys are all very welcome to be there. Otherwise, I hope that you have a good weekend. I hope to see you in the streams to come tomorrow, and I hope that you had a wonderful time. I am going to end it here. I will see you later.